Hey everyone, it's Jen Fontanella, your financial coach, money coach, and I have some exciting news I wanted to share, so I wanted to just jump on here. It's actually, I think, my first live in this group, or not group, actually business page. And so I just wanted to say, hope everyone's having a great Wednesday. I can't believe how fast the holidays are coming. But one of the things I wanted to share with you today is, some of you know that I've been working on a book, and it's been quite a journey, to say the least. I've had told people that childbirth was easier than this book. And it's been a long process. I had put it down, I had picked it up, and then it was just finally down to the wire where I realized I just need to get this done. And so I'm excited. I'm at the final end of the stages of finally putting it together, because I literally did everything except for the initial edit. I actually hired somebody to do that, but the designing, the formatting, everything, I just took it upon myself to do it. I know, crazy. But for some of you that don't know who I am, I'm Jen Fontanella. I'm a financial coach, and I've been in the financial services industry for about 15 years, and I was a financial advisor before, and in the more recent years, I started realizing where people's needs really were, where I really enjoyed wanting to help them more. And that was usually basically at the beginning levels, where before, I would set up their, investments or whatnot, do a rollover, things like that. But at the core of it, I always had this feeling inside that there were some fundamental beliefs and some mindset shifts that needed to take place. And as an advisor, that's typically not your role. That's not really why they're there for your help. And there was always this conflict within me, and I wanted to do something more deeper and meaningful. Not that that work isn't important, but I really wanted to help people where they needed it first, which is laying down the foundation and the basics. And so in the more recent years, I shifted towards financial coaching and money coaching, and there is a difference, and I'll explain that in other videos later on down the road. And so what happened was I had been an author, but I really wanted to write a book that had to deal with finances. And so me going through a divorce myself, I knew there was a correlation, and it happened to a lot of my other friends too. A lot of people, went through a divorce. A lot of it was financially related, believe it or not. I'll talk about how, communication there's always a breakdown in that. And a lot of times the communication breakdown is about money. There's other things too, but, there was a strong relation between those two things. And so when I thought about my own situation, and I thought, gosh, there needs to be something that talks about, how do you prevent those things? How do you address those issues where, you're talking about how do you deal with money and then within a relationship so that it prevents, the fights, the arguments. Of course, not all fights and arguments are going to be preventable, but at least when it comes to talking about money, there are some things that, some tools and resources that you can put in place so that you're not going down that road that could have been prevented. And ultimately for some people, some of us, we ended up in divorce. So, the book talks about all kinds of things. I'm super excited. I have a mock-up here. This is not the real deal, but this is going to go on pre-sale on Black Friday. So I'm excited. What I'll be doing over the next few days is talking about the different chapters in here. I talk about, self-awareness, being self-minded, having mindfulness, and understanding that, in order for you to make some changes, with your partner, you have to be aware of your own shortcomings or the things that you need to deal with in yourself. And of course, there's also the different basic topics like, investing, saving, debt, credit, spending habits. That was one of the biggest topics that when I did a survey about a year and a half ago, I believe, I did a survey about, what are some of the biggest things that you wish that, you and your partner had talked about in the beginning, or something that you covered or learned. Hands down, number one was saving and, spending habits, saving, and then credit. Ironically, you would think, okay, investing and all that stuff, but I think sometimes it's so down into the future, far off, that, it's not something that's easily thought of because it's so far away for so many people. But, spending habits, it's those things that every day that you do that affect how everything else happens down the road. So I talk about, all those things, and for, being in this space, one of the things that I got very, very interested in is, money mindset. But, how do you have a healthy mindset? And so, what does that mean? Do you think in abundance? Do you have a mindset of scarcity? the other things that I really am diving into recently is understanding, the methods and things that are supported by science, the neuroscience, the neuroeconomics, what are those things that are, the behavioral science behind why we make the financial choices and decisions that we do and that we make. I think that when we can understand those things better, we have a better understanding of why we develop habits that we do, why do we make the financial choices that we do. And I think it's so important to recognize that and understand and go through that process, because it helps you understand, okay, why, think about this. How many of you keep thinking, I get a budget, I have all the best intentions of the world to do it, but you don't do it. So there's something, that's underlying there that you haven't addressed, and it's preventing you from making the progress that you need, because you just keep repeating the same habits, the same patterns. And, you have all the best intentions in the world, but something's just not breaking through. So I'm super excited about this book. Let me tell you, it was so painstaking. It was a lot of work, but, definitely worth it. I'm excited because I think that this is my goal is to really empower individuals and couples to understand, what are the different foundations and different things that need to be set, so that, you're setting yourself up for the right path and you're making the right choices, because we're not, money, I always talk about, is not something that's discussed. It's not something that we're taught in school. Fortunately, I'm starting to see, more and more organizations hold workshops, hold conferences, hold different things like that at their workplace, in the schools, and becoming aware that this kind of information needs to be shared with other people, and to empower people to make decisions, because this isn't something that's taught. And so I've been involved with that for several years now, but it's just nice to see that, more and more communities are taking on that responsibility for financial literacy and wellness. So this book, Do Before I Do, and it's how to have open conversations about money, avoid fights and breakups, and create a blissful financial future together. And so I'll be talking more and more about this over the next coming days leading up to Black Friday. But if you want more information and you want to get alerts of when, just in case you need a reminder about when the book is coming out, or for pre-sale, and especially if you want to get your free 5 ways to manage your money together, definitely go to dobeforeido.com, and you can go ahead and click. You just see a pink arrow, click there, and you'll get your you'll put your information and you'll get your free download. All right, so thanks so much. I'm looking forward to sharing more information about the book coming out, and thanks for being here, and I'll connect with you next time. Thanks.